There's a particular quality to the way your mind moves through the world. It doesn't skim the surface of things. It doesn't accept the first answer or settle for simple explanations. Instead, it reaches deeper, turning thoughts over like stones in a river, examining them from different angles, finding connections others miss. You've always been this way, haven't you? The person who notices what goes unsaid, who asks the question beneath the question, who can't stop wondering about the why behind the why. It's not something you choose to do. It's simply how your mind works, perpetually curious, endlessly exploring, sometimes exhaustingly thorough. Now, dim those lights, get cozy, settle into your pillow, and let yourself relax. Take a breath. Tonight, we're exploring the inner world of deep thinkers, people like you, whose minds naturally dive beneath the surface. We'll look at why your thoughts move the way they do, why silence often feels fuller than noise, and why rest sometimes feels like the hardest thing to do. But mostly, we're here so you can finally let that beautiful, busy mind of yours soften and settle. You've thought enough for today. You can rest now. Your mind has never been content with simple answers. Even as a child, you asked the questions that made adults pause, not to be difficult, but because you genuinely needed to understand the layers beneath the obvious. While others accepted because that's how it is, you wondered about the reasons behind the reasons. This wasn't rebellion. This was the natural orientation of a mind built for depth, for meaning, for connection between disparate ideas. There's something specific happening in your brain when you think this way. Your prefrontal cortex, that remarkable region right behind your forehead, is constantly working to make sense of complexity. It's the part of your brain that evolved most recently in human history, the part that allows you to hold multiple ideas at once, to compare and contrast, to see implications the others might miss. When you think deeply, this region lights up with activity, building connections between different areas of your brain, weaving together memory, emotion, logic, and intuition into something complex and meaningful. Deep thinkers often have what researchers call high quote one, not a disorder or a problem, but simply a natural preference for engaging with ideas in a thorough way. Your brain actually finds satisfaction in the process of thinking itself, not just in reaching conclusions. This is why you can spend hours pondering a question that might seem to have a simple answer. You're not overthinking in the problematic sense. You're exploring the full landscape of possibility, and your mind finds that exploration intrinsically rewarding. But this gift comes with a weight. Your mind rarely rests easily. It keeps reaching, keeps wondering, keeps exploring long after others have moved on. While someone else might have a passing thought and let it go, your mind holds on to it, turns it over, examines it from different angles, connects it to other thoughts you've had. It's beautiful and exhausting in equal measure. And right now, as you take in this understanding, notice your breath. Feel how it moves in your chest, that gentle rise and fall. You don't need to change it or control it, just notice it. Feel where your body makes contact with the surface beneath you, your shoulders, your back, your hips. Let yourself feel held by that surface. Let your jaw soften if it's clenched. Let your tongue rest gently in your mouth, no longer pressed against the roof of your mouth or your teeth. This way your mind works. This deep thinking that feels so natural to you, it's not something you need to fix or change. It's not a flaw in how you're built. It's simply how your particular brain is wired, and it has given you insight that others don't have. You see connections they miss. You understand implications they overlook. You recognize patterns that remain invisible to those who only glance at the surface of things. There's something almost tender about this, isn't there? Your mind, in its constant searching, is trying to make sense of the world, trying to find truth and meaning in the chaos of experience. It's trying, in its own complicated way, to help you navigate life with wisdom and understanding. You don't need to solve anything about this tonight. You don't need to understand it completely or figure out how to quiet your mind more effectively. You can simply know that it makes sense, that your brain is doing what brains like yours naturally do, and let yourself rest. Let the thoughts slow down just a little. Let your body sink a bit deeper into comfort and softness. You're safe here, in this moment, in this space. You can let go of the need to figure anything out. And as you do, as you allow yourself to soften, something else begins to emerge, another layer of understanding that we'll explore together, gently, as you drift toward deeper rest. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from processing everything deeply. You don't just experience moments, you analyze them, replay them, extract meaning from them. A casual conversation can echo in your mind for hours afterward. Not because anything went wrong, not because you made a mistake or said something you regret, but simply because your brain naturally looks for patterns, implications, and deeper truths. You notice things other people don't notice. The slight shift in someone's tone when they said they were fine. The word they almost said but substituted with something safer. The meaning hidden in pauses, in what wasn't said as much as what was. The way their eyes moved when they spoke about a particular topic. These aren't things you consciously decide to observe. Your mind simply picks up on them automatically, the way a musician hears individual instruments in a symphony, while others hear only a general sound. This depth of processing involves several brain systems working together. Your amygdala, deep in your temporal lobe, helps tag experiences with emotional significance. Your hippocampus works to encode these moments into memory with unusual clarity, and your prefrontal cortex ties it all together, creating narrative and meaning from the raw data of experience. For deep thinkers, these systems seem to work with particular intensity, creating vivid, detailed mental records of interactions that others might forget within minutes. It's a gift that sometimes feels like a burden, especially when your mind won't stop examining something long after it would be useful to do so, long after the conversation has ended, long after the interaction is over. Your mind is still there, still processing, still trying to understand what happened beneath the surface of what was said. Did they really mean what they said? Was there subtext you missed? What were the implications of that particular phrase? And round it goes, your beautiful analytical mind doing what it does best, even when you wish it would simply stop. Take a moment now to notice your shoulders, Are they holding tension? Let them drop away from your ears. Let them soften and release. Notice your hands. Are your fingers curled or clenched? Let them unfurl gently. Let your palms open. Let your wrists go soft. Feel the weight of your arms becoming heavy, sinking down into rest. This tendency your mind has to replay and analyze interactions. It's not something you're doing wrong. It's not a sign that you're anxious or broken or thinking too much. It's your brain following its natural programming, trying to extract wisdom from experience, trying to understand the social world in all its complexity. Your mind is built to notice nuance, and that means it notices more than most people's minds do. It holds more, processes more, contemplates more. And yes, sometimes that feels overwhelming. Sometimes you wish you could experience things more simply, more lightly, the way other people seem to. But that simplicity would also mean missing the depth of understanding you've developed, the insight into human nature that your careful observation has given you. You don't need to figure out how to think less tonight. You don't need to solve the puzzle of your own mind. You can simply acknowledge that this is how you're made and let yourself rest anyway. Let the analysis pause. Let the replay stop. Let your mind know that it has done enough work for today, and tomorrow will be soon enough to think about things again. Right now, in this moment, you can simply breathe, simply rest, simply allow yourself to sink into the softness of this space. Your body is heavy, your breath is gentle, and you're held safely here. And as you settle even deeper, there's something else about your mind worth understanding. Something about the way silence feels different to you than it does to others. Deep thinkers often find something restorative in silence that others struggle to understand. It's not that you dislike people or conversation, not that you're antisocial or withdrawn, but noise, whether literal sound or mental stimulation, creates a kind of static that makes it harder for your mind to do what it does naturally. In noise, in constant stimulation, in environments full of input, your mind becomes overwhelmed because you process things so thoroughly. Every sound, every conversation, every piece of sensory information gets examined more carefully than it might in someone else's brain. You can't just tune things out the way others seem to. Background noise isn't truly background for you. It's foreground, demanding attention, requiring processing, and that processing takes energy, constant energy, until you feel drained in ways that don't make sense to people who don't think the way you do. But in silence, something different happens. In silence, you can follow thoughts to their natural conclusions without interruption. You can make connections at your own pace, without external input disrupting the delicate threads you're weaving together internally. You can let your internal world unfold the way it wants to unfold, without having to manage the external world at the same time. Psychologist Susan Cain, in her research on introversion and sensitivity, found that people who process information deeply often need what she calls restorative niches, quiet spaces where their minds can work without the overwhelm of constant stimulation. For deep thinkers, silence isn't empty or boring. It's full. It's rich with the landscape of your own thoughts, and that landscape is endlessly interesting to you. You've probably been called quiet or reserved at various points in your life, and maybe those words felt like misunderstandings. You're not quiet because you have nothing to say. You're not reserved because you're afraid or shy. You're simply more comfortable in the spaciousness that silence provides, where your thoughts can breathe and develop fully, where you don't have to compress your complex internal process into quick verbal responses. Notice your breath again now, how quiet it has become. Feel the soft rise and fall of your chest, barely noticeable, just the gentlest movement. Your face is relaxing. The small muscles around your eyes and mouth letting go of tension you didn't even know you were holding. Your neck is soft, your throat open and easy. This need you have for silence, for quiet, for space to think. It's not something to apologize for. It's not a limitation or a weakness. It's simply part of how your particular nervous system is calibrated. You need that silence the way you need sleep, the way you need food. It's restorative. It's necessary. It's what allows your deep thinking mind to do its work without exhaustion. And you can rest in that silence now. You don't need to fill this space with anything. You don't need to analyze why silence feels good or figure out how to explain it to anyone. You can simply be here in the quiet, letting it hold you, letting it soften the edges of your thoughts, letting it support you as you drift toward sleep. Your mind is safe in this silence. Your body is relaxed. And there's nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do, nothing you need to think about. Just this breath, just this moment, just this gentle sinking into rest. And as you sink deeper, we can look at something else you've probably felt. A particular kind of loneliness that comes with thinking the way you do. There's a particular kind of loneliness that deep thinkers know well. It happens when you're surrounded by people, but the conversation stays light, stays surface level, stays safely in territory that doesn't require real thought. You can participate, you can smile and nod, you can play along with the small talk and the casual banter, but part of you remains untouched, waiting for something more substantial. You've learned to exist in two worlds simultaneously. There's the external world, where people chat about weather and weekend plans and the latest shows they're watching. And there's your internal world, where you're contemplating existence, wondering about meaning, noticing the intricate patterns that connect everything. That gap between inner and outer can feel impossibly wide sometimes, creating a loneliness that has nothing to do with being physically alone. In fact, you might feel lonelier in a crowded room full of superficial conversation than you do when you're actually by yourself. Because being alone doesn't carry the weight of pretending, of managing the disconnect between what you're thinking and what you're saying, of smiling through conversations that leave you feeling empty. This is what psychologist Clark Mustakas described when he wrote about existential loneliness. Not the loneliness of having no people around, but the loneliness of feeling that no one truly sees or understands the depth of your inner experience. For deep thinkers, this can be a constant undercurrent, a quiet sense that you're operating on a different frequency than most of the people around you. And it's not that you think you're better than anyone else, you don't. You simply think differently, process differently, need different things from conversation and connection. While others are satisfied with pleasant surface interactions, you're hungry for something with more weight, more substance, more truth. You want to talk about ideas that matter, questions that don't have easy answers, the complicated, messy reality of being human. Let your whole body soften now. Feel your chest, your belly, both relaxing with each breath. Your hips are heavy, sinking down. Your legs feel so heavy, like they're made of stone, no longer needing to hold themselves up or maintain any tension. Your feet are completely relaxed, all the way down to your toes. This loneliness you've felt, this sense of being different, of processing things more deeply than those around you. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're too intense or too serious or too much. It means you're someone whose mind naturally seeks depth and meaning. And that's actually a rare and valuable quality. The world needs people who think the way you do, who ask the questions others don't ask, who refuse to settle for shallow answers. And while that loneliness is real, while it aches sometimes in ways that are hard to explain, there are other people like you. There are other deep thinkers moving through the world, feeling this same loneliness, searching for the same depth of connection. You haven't been alone in this feeling even when it felt like you were. But right now, tonight, you don't need to figure out how to find those people or how to bridge that gap between your inner and outer worlds. You don't need to solve the loneliness. You can simply let yourself rest, knowing that you are seen, at least in this moment, for exactly who you are. A deep thinker with a beautiful, complex mind that deserves rest and peace. Let yourself drift now. Let the loneliness soften into something quieter as you sink deeper into sleep. And there's something else about your mind worth understanding. Something about the way it connects things. Your brain sees patterns everywhere. A conversation about one thing leads to thoughts about 12 other things. Someone mentions a book, and your mind immediately connects it to a concept you read about years ago, which reminds you of something you observed last week, which relates to a question you've been holding for months. It's like your mind is a vast network of threads, and touching any one thread sends vibrations through the entire web. This web of connections is how deep thinkers naturally process information. Everything relates to everything else. Nothing exists in isolation. Every new piece of information gets integrated into your existing understanding, creating new connections, revealing new patterns, opening new questions. Your brain is constantly mapping these relationships, constantly updating its model of how the world works. Neuroscientists call this cognitive integration, the brain's ability to combine information from different domains into a unified understanding. For deep thinkers, this integration seems to happen more automatically, more extensively, and with less conscious effort than it does for others. Your brain just naturally reaches for connections, finding similarities and differences, noticing how this thing over here might relate to that thing over there. It's beautiful when it works in your favor. It's what allows you to have insights others miss, to understand complex systems, to see solutions that require connecting disparate pieces of information. It's what makes you creative and insightful, and able to grasp nuance that others overlook. but it also means your thoughts rarely follow a straight line. Someone asks you a simple question, and your answer includes context and caveats and related ideas and implications, because your mind can't help but see all the connections radiating out from that one simple question. What feels thorough and complete to you can seem like overthinking to others. What feels like necessary context to you can seem like going off on tangents to people whose minds work differently. And turning off this pattern recognition feels nearly impossible, especially when you're trying to rest. Your mind doesn't have a simple off switch. It keeps making connections, keeps noticing patterns, keeps following threads even when you wish it would just stop and let you sleep. Notice your jaw now, how it's resting. Feel your whole face, smooth and peaceful. Your shoulders have dropped completely, melted down into the surface beneath you. Your arms are so heavy, completely relaxed, no longer holding any tension at all. Feel your hands soft and open, your fingers loose. This constant pattern recognition, this web of connections your mind weaves, it's not something you need to fight against or try to eliminate. It's part of how you understand the world. It's given you depth of understanding that others don't have. But it can rest now. The patterns don't need to be found tonight. The connections don't need to be made right now. Your mind has done enough weaving for one day. You can let the threads lie still. You can let the web stop vibrating. You can allow your thoughts to slow down and settle, like leaves falling gently to the ground, no longer moving, no longer connecting to anything, just resting. Your mind knows how to rest, even if it doesn't always feel like it does. Beneath all that pattern recognition and connection making is a deeper stillness, and you can sink into that stillness now. You can let the busy surface of your mind grow quiet while the deeper parts of you rest and restore. Just breathing, just resting, just letting yourself drift. And as you drift, there's one more thing about deep thinking that's worth understanding gently before you let it all go. Here's something you've probably noticed about your own mind. The same capacity for deep thought that helps you understand complex things can also trap you in endless loops of analysis. You can think about something from so many angles that you lose track of what you actually feel about it. The thinking becomes its own activity, separate from reaching any conclusion or resolution. You can consider every possible outcome of a decision until decision-making feels paralyzing. What if you choose this and that happens? But what if you choose that and this other thing happens? And what about this third option you hadn't considered? And this fourth possibility? And this fifth nuance that changes everything? Round and round your mind goes, examining every angle so thoroughly that forward movement becomes impossible. This isn't weakness or indecision. This isn't you being difficult or avoidant. It's what happens when a mind built for depth tries to navigate a world that often demands quick, surface-level responses. Your brain wants to understand fully before committing. It wants to see all the implications, consider all the consequences, map out all the possibilities. And in a complex world where most decisions have trade-offs and uncertainties, that kind of thorough analysis can go on indefinitely. The psychologist Barry Schwartz wrote about this as, quote, 6, Having many options and the ability to analyze them deeply can actually make decisions harder, not easier. For deep thinkers, this paradox is even more pronounced because you can see more options, more nuances, more potential outcomes than others might notice. And sometimes your deep thinking turns inward, analyzing your own analysis, thinking about your thinking, observing your observations. You become aware that you're overthinking, which leads to thinking about whether you're overthinking too much, which becomes another loop of analysis. Your mind gets tangled up in its own depth. This is both your greatest strength and sometimes your greatest challenge. The same quality that allows you to see beneath the surface, to understand complexity, to make connections others miss. That same quality can trap you in endless examination when what you really need is to just choose, just act, just rest. Let your breath be gentle now. Feel the cool air entering your nose, the warm air leaving. Notice that small pause between breaths, that moment of perfect stillness between the inhale and the exhale. Your chest is rising and falling so gently, almost imperceptibly, in its own natural rhythm. Your belly is soft, moving with each breath. Your whole torso is relaxed, loose, at ease. This tendency to analyze everything from every angle, it's not something you need to shame yourself for. It's not a character flaw or a thinking error. It's your mind doing what it was built to do, seeking understanding, examining complexity, refusing to settle for simple answers. That's valuable, that matters, but it can also rest. You don't need to analyze why you analyze. You don't need to think about your thinking right now. You don't need to understand the paradox of overthinking. You can simply let it all go. Let the loops unwind. Let the endless analysis come to a natural stopping point. Not because you've reached a conclusion, but because you've given yourself permission to stop without concluding. Your mind will be there tomorrow, ready to think deeply again if needed. But tonight, right now, it can rest. It can stop working. It can simply be quiet. Let yourself sink into that quiet, deeper and softer, as the need to analyze everything fades into the background. You're safe. You can rest. You're allowed to stop thinking. And as you stop thinking, as you let the analysis fade, something softer takes its place. For deep thinkers, small talk isn't just boring, it's actively draining. Your mind naturally wants to explore ideas, examine meaning, and engage with substance. So conversations that stay deliberately shallow feel like running a mental engine without going anywhere. You're revving the engine, but the car isn't moving, and that uses energy without getting you anywhere meaningful. You can do small talk. You've learned how. You know how to chat about the weather, how to make pleasant comments about someone's weekend, how to discuss surface-level topics without revealing how little they interest you. But it uses energy. It requires you to suppress your natural inclination toward depth, and instead operate in a mode that feels incomplete and unsatisfying. While you're making pleasant conversation about trivial things, part of your mind is somewhere else, thinking about real questions, real ideas, real meaning. And you have to manage that split, keeping the thinking part hidden, while the social part performs the expected role. That management, That constant monitoring and suppressing and performing is exhausting in ways that people who don't think like you might not understand. This is why you might feel more tired after a party full of light conversation than you do after an hour-long deep discussion with one person who really wants to explore ideas with you. Depth doesn't drain you, it energizes you. Your mind comes alive when it's engaged with substance. But superficiality, even when friendly and pleasant, leaves you feeling empty and tired. It's not that you judge people for enjoying small talk. You understand that not everyone processes things the way you do, that other people find connection and pleasure in those light exchanges. But for you, they feel like junk food when what you're hungry for is a real meal. They might taste okay in the moment, but they don't nourish you, don't satisfy the deeper hunger your mind has for meaningful engagement. Your whole body is so relaxed now. Your back is sinking down, completely supported by what's beneath you. Your hips are heavy, releasing any tension they were holding. Your legs feel like they're made of stone, so heavy they're sinking down, deeper and deeper. Your feet are loose, your ankles soft, all the way down to your toes, everything letting go. This need you have for depth in conversation, this exhaustion you feel from too much superficial interaction, it's not pretentious or elitist or judgmental. It's simply how your mind is oriented. Just like you need silence to restore yourself, you need depth of engagement to feel truly connected and satisfied. Light conversation doesn't feed that need, and that's okay. You don't have to figure out how to enjoy small talk more. You don't have to change your need for depth or make yourself more comfortable with superficiality. You can simply accept that this is how you're built, and know that there are contexts where depth is possible and valued, even if they're less common than you'd like. But right now, you don't need to think about conversation at all. You don't need to worry about future interactions or analyze past ones. You can let all of that go, let it fade into the background as you rest here in silence, in depth, in the kind of peace that asks nothing of you. Just breathing, just resting, just allowing yourself to be exactly as you are. Your mind can be quiet now. Your body is heavy and still, and you're safe here, held in this moment, drifting deeper towards sleep. And there's one more quality of your mind worth noting before we let everything soften even more. Your mind doesn't just want to know what happened, it wants to understand why it matters, what it means, how it fits into the larger picture. This search for meaning is like a compass that guides your thoughts, pulling you towards significance even in ordinary moments. You can't experience something without wondering what it means, without trying to fit it into your larger understanding of life and human nature and the way the world works. You find yourself wondering about the implications of small interactions. When someone says something casual, your mind is already exploring what that might reveal about their deeper beliefs or fears or desires. When you notice a pattern in your own behavior, you're immediately curious about what it might mean about your character, or your unresolved issues, or your growth as a person. This orientation toward meaning has given your life richness and purpose. You're not just going through the motions, not just checking boxes and completing tasks. You're constantly trying to understand the significance of your experience, trying to extract wisdom and truth from the raw material of daily life. That's a gift. That's something that makes your life deeper and more conscious than it might otherwise be. But it also means you can't simply accept things at face value. You can't just experience something and move on. Your mind always wants to go deeper, wants to understand the why behind the what, wants to find the meaning that might be hidden beneath the surface. And sometimes that's exhausting. Sometimes you wish you could just experience things simply, without all the questioning and examining and meaning-making. The psychologist Viktor Frankl wrote about the human need for meaning, arguing that it's one of our most fundamental drives. For deep thinkers, this drive seems to be especially strong. You need meaning the way you need food and water. Without it, life feels empty, pointless, not worth living. With it, even difficult experiences can feel worthwhile because they mean something, because they teach you something, because they contribute to your understanding. Notice how your breath has slowed, how gentle and quiet it has become. Your face is completely peaceful, smooth and relaxed. Your jaw is loose, hanging softly, no tension anywhere. Your neck is soft, your shoulders completely dropped, your chest rising and falling so gently, barely moving at all. Your whole body has surrendered to rest, to stillness, to the comfort of being held. This constant search for meaning, this need to understand significance and purpose, it's not something to eliminate or reduce. It's core to who you are. It's what makes your life rich with understanding and purpose. But it can rest now. The search for meaning can pause. The questions can wait until morning. Not everything needs to mean something tonight. Some things can just be what they are, without deeper significance. Your breath is just breath. This moment is just this moment. Rest is just rest. You don't need to extract meaning from it or understand its purpose. You can simply let it be, simple and direct and uncomplicated. Your mind has done so much meaning-making today, so much searching for significance and purpose. It deserves this rest, this break from the constant work of understanding. Let the compass stop pointing. Let the search come to a natural pause. Let meaning dissolve into simple experience, simple sensation, simple being. You're safe. You can rest. You don't need to understand anything more tonight. Just drift now, softer and deeper, into the quiet space where meaning isn't needed, where understanding isn't required, where your deep thinking mind can finally completely rest. And here's where something begins to soften. You've spent so much time developing your capacity to think deeply, to analyze thoroughly, to understand completely. Your whole life in many ways has been about developing and refining this ability to see beneath the surface, to recognize patterns, to make connections. It's become second nature, automatic, something your mind does without you even deciding to do it. But depth doesn't require constant vigilance. Your ability to think deeply, to see beneath the surface, to understand complexity, it doesn't disappear just because you let yourself rest. It's not a skill you have to practice every moment to maintain. It's built into how your brain is structured, how your neural pathways are organized. It will be there tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Resting doesn't erase it. In fact, some of your deepest insights have probably come not from forcing analysis, but from allowing your mind to wander, to soften, to make connections naturally without conscious effort. When you stop trying so hard to think deeply, when you let your mind relax and drift, that's often when unexpected insights emerge. When pieces of understanding suddenly click together in ways that all your conscious analysis couldn't achieve. The patterns you've learned don't need more attention tonight. The connections don't need to be examined right now. Your mind has done enough work for today. It has thought enough, analysed enough, understood enough. What it needs now is not more thinking, but rest, real rest. The kind of rest that comes from letting go of the work, from trusting that you don't need to maintain constant vigilance over your understanding. Your body knows how to rest. Your breath is gentle and easy, requiring no thought, no effort, no control. Your muscles are softening, releasing tension they've been holding, letting go of work they've been doing. Your heart beats steadily, reliably, without your conscious awareness. Your whole body knows how to simply be, without effort, without thought. And your mind can learn from your body. It can discover what your body already knows, that rest is safe, that letting go doesn't mean losing what matters, that you can stop working and still be okay. Your capacity for deep thought will be there when you need it. But right now you don't need it. Right now you need rest. You don't need to examine this moment. You don't need to analyze what rest means or why it's important. You don't need to understand the psychology of sleep or the neuroscience of relaxation. You can simply let yourself rest. Simply let yourself be here, breathing, softening, drifting. The deep thinking can pause, the analysis can stop. Your mind has permission to simply be quiet. Let yourself sink deeper now. Feel how your whole body is heavy. So heavy, sinking down into the surface beneath you, like you're being held by something soft and warm. Your thoughts are slowing, becoming quieter, less insistent. The need to understand, to analyze, to connect everything. It's fading like sound from a room you've just left, distant, no longer demanding your attention. You're safe here. You can rest completely. You can let go of the work of thinking, the work of understanding, the work of maintaining depth. Just for tonight, just for now, you can let it all go. Your mind will still be your mind tomorrow. Your capacity for depth will still be there. But right now, it can rest. You can rest. Let yourself drift now, deeper and softer, as we explore something else about the way your mind works. Deep thinkers often develop a particular skill, usually without even realizing they're developing it. It's the ability to observe without immediately evaluating, to notice without immediately judging, to watch thoughts and feelings move through consciousness without having to do anything about them. You can watch your own thoughts move through your mind like clouds across sky. Interesting and complex, but not requiring your intervention. You can notice, quote, 7 or quote 8, without having to engage with it, without having to follow it down the rabbit hole of analysis. You can simply observe it passing by, the way you might observe a bird flying past your window. Interesting to notice, but not demanding that you do anything. This observational quality, this capacity for meta-awareness, is something you can return to now in this moment. Notice if thoughts appear. They might. Your mind is used to being active, used to thinking, and it might generate thoughts even as you're trying to rest. That's okay. That's normal. You don't need to fight against thoughts or try to force your mind to be empty. But you also don't need to follow those thoughts anywhere. You don't need to engage with them, analyze them, develop them into full trains of thought. You can simply notice them arising, acknowledge them gently, and let them drift by without pursuing them. Like watching leaves float past on a stream, you see them, you notice them, but you don't reach out to grab them and examine them closely. You just let them float on by. This is different from your usual relationship with thoughts. Usually when a thought appears, you engage with it immediately. You grab onto it, you explore it, you follow it wherever it leads. That's what deep thinking is, that willingness to follow thoughts into depth. But tonight you can practice a different relationship. You can practice observing without engaging. Feel your body now, how completely relaxed it has become. Your breath is so soft, so quiet, barely noticeable. Your face is smooth and peaceful. Your jaw is loose, your neck soft. Your shoulders have dropped completely. Your arms are heavy. Your hands open and relaxed. Your chest and belly are soft, moving gently with each breath. Your back is sinking down, supported and held. Your hips are heavy, your legs like stone, your feet completely released. And as you feel your body relaxing, you might notice thoughts appearing. That's okay. They don't have to mean anything. They don't require your attention. They're just thoughts, moving through consciousness the way clouds move through sky. Sometimes there are thoughts, sometimes there aren't. Either way is fine. You don't need to analyze these thoughts. You don't need to figure out where they're coming from or what they mean or why they're appearing. You can simply let them be, acknowledged but not pursued, noticed but not engaged, present but not demanding anything from you. This observational stance, this gentle noticing without engaging, is one of the ways your mind can finally rest. Not by forcing thoughts away, not by trying to make your mind empty, but by changing your relationship with thoughts when they appear. You can watch them without following them. You can notice them without analyzing them. You can let them drift by while your body settles more deeply into rest. Let yourself sink even deeper now. Let the observing become softer, more distant, less active. You're drifting into a space where even observation begins to fade, where thoughts appear less frequently, where the space between thoughts becomes wider and quieter. Your mind is learning what rest feels like, what's like to not have to work, to not have to understand, to simply be, just breathing, just resting, just drifting deeper into peace. And as you drift, we can look at something that might bring relief. There's a quiet relief in accepting that you don't need to figure everything out before you sleep. The questions you're holding, the ones that have been cycling through your mind today, the patterns you've been noticing, the connections you've been trying to make, they can all wait until morning. They will still be there tomorrow. The world won't change significantly overnight. Your questions will still be your questions. Your curiosity will still be your curiosity. But tonight, right now, you can let them rest. You can set them down the way you might set down a heavy bag you've been carrying all day. You don't have to carry them into sleep with you. You don't have to keep holding them, keep thinking about them, keep trying to solve them. They can rest on their own while you rest separately. Your mind has been working so hard, making connections and seeking meaning and trying to understand. It's been analysing and examining and thinking deeply about everything you've encountered today. That's exhausting work, even when it's work you're good at, even when it's work that feels natural to you. Your mind deserves this break. It deserves to stop working, to stop trying, to stop figuring things out. Understanding is important, yes. Depth matters. Your ability to think deeply about things is valuable and worthwhile, but rest is also important. Rest is also valuable. And sometimes the deepest understanding comes not from thinking harder, but from allowing your mind to rest, to integrate, to process things beneath your conscious awareness while you simply breathe and let go. Sleep is when your brain does some of its most important work, actually. While you're sleeping, your brain is consolidating memories, making new connections, integrating what you learned during the day into your existing understanding. But it can only do that work when you're not consciously thinking, when you've let go of the active work of analysis and allowed your mind to do its deeper, unconscious processing. So by resting now, by letting go of the need to understand everything tonight, you're not abandoning your deep thinking, you're actually supporting it. You're allowing your mind to do the kind of integrative work it can only do when you're not consciously directing it. Notice your hands right now. Are they holding any tension? Let your fingers unfurl completely. Let your palms open. Let your wrists soften. Feel the weight of your arms, heavy and relaxed, sinking into rest. Your elbows are soft, your shoulders dropped, your neck loose and easy. Your whole upper body can release now, letting go of any holding that remains. The questions can wait. The patterns can be examined tomorrow. The connections can be made when you wake up, if they still seem important then. Right now, in this moment, there's nothing you need to figure out. There's nothing you need to understand. There's nothing you need to solve or analyze or think about deeply. You've done enough thinking for one day. You've understood enough. You've gone deep enough. What you need now is rest, is softness, is permission to let all of this settle without having to actively work on it. Your mind needs the same thing your body needs, a chance to stop working, to stop trying, to simply be at rest. Let yourself drift now deeper into that rest. Let the questions fade into the background, becoming quieter and less urgent. Let the need to understand release its grip on you. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to figure everything out. You can simply be here, breathing, resting, allowing yourself to soften into sleep. Your mind is safe in not knowing. Your mind is safe in resting. You're held here, supported, allowed to completely let go. And as you let go, you might notice something familiar about where you are right now. Even as you begin to drift towards sleep, there's something familiar and safe about the richness of your internal landscape. Your thoughts, your questions, your endless curiosity, these aren't burdens to eliminate. They're not problems to solve or flaws to fix. They're part of what makes you who you are. They're woven into the fabric of your identity, inseparable from your essential self. Your depth of mind, your capacity for complex thought, your tendency to ask questions and seek meaning and make connections, these are gifts even when they feel heavy sometimes. They've shaped how you see the world, how you understand people, how you navigate your life. They've given you insight and wisdom that others don't have. But they can rest now. They can soften. They don't need to be active every moment. Just like your body can rest without ceasing to be your body, your mind can rest without ceasing to be your mind. The depth doesn't disappear. The capacity for deep thought doesn't evaporate. It simply becomes quiet, becomes still, becomes dormant while you sleep. Think of it like a river that's constantly flowing. Your mind is like that river, always moving, always active, always going somewhere. But even rivers have quiet places, pools where the water becomes still, where it rests for a moment before continuing on. Your mind can find that quiet pool now. It can rest in that stillness without the river ceasing to be a river. The depth of your mind doesn't require constant activation. It exists even in stillness, even in silence, even as you allow yourself to sink towards sleep. It's a capacity, not an activity. It's something you have, not something you have to keep doing. And capacities can rest. They can lie dormant. They can be there, ready when needed without being constantly deployed. Your capacity for deep thought will be there tomorrow, refreshed and renewed. It will be there next week and next month and next year. Resting tonight doesn't diminish it. In fact, rest is what allows that capacity to remain strong, to remain sharp, to remain something you can call on when you need it. Without rest, even the deepest mind becomes foggy and less effective. Feel your whole body now, how heavy it has become. Your head is heavy on the pillow, your face completely relaxed, your neck is soft, your shoulders dropped and released. Your back is sinking down, supported by what's beneath you. Your chest and belly are moving so gently with each breath, barely noticeable, just the softest rise and fall. Your hips are heavy, your legs completely relaxed, your feet soft and loose. And as your body rests, your mind can rest too. It can simply be quiet. It doesn't have to think or analyze or understand. It doesn't have to make connections or recognize patterns or seek meaning. It can just be present but not active, aware but not engaged, here but drifting gently toward the space where consciousness fades into sleep. You're safe in this rest. Your deep thinking mind is safe in this quiet. Nothing about who you are is being lost or diminished. You're simply allowing yourself to stop working for a while, to let the engine idle, to give yourself the rest that every mind needs, no matter how complex or active it usually is. Let yourself drift even deeper now. Let the familiar landscape of your thoughts become distant and quiet. You don't need to navigate that landscape tonight. You don't need to explore its terrain. You can simply rest, knowing it will be there tomorrow, waiting for you when you wake. For now, it can simply be still, and you can simply sleep. As you settle deeper, you might notice how thoughts begin to lose their sharp edges. The need to analyze, to understand, to connect everything, it starts to blur into something softer, something more like feeling than thinking. This is your mind's natural transition toward rest, the way consciousness shifts as sleep approaches. Concepts that were clear and distinct start to dissolve into something vaguer, more dreamlike. The questions that seemed so important begin to fade, losing their urgency, becoming less like problems that need solving, and more like distant sounds that don't require your attention. The connections you were making between ideas become loose, no longer holding together with the same logical force. This is natural. This is how your mind moves from waking to sleeping. During waking hours, your prefrontal cortex maintains clear boundaries between ideas, keeps thoughts organized and logical, maintains the structure of rational thinking, but as you drift towards sleep, the prefrontal cortex quiets down, and the boundaries between thoughts become more permeable, more fluid. Questions become simply textures of consciousness, rather than problems requiring solutions. That question you were holding about why something happened, it's still there in some sense, but it no longer demands an answer. It's become more like a colour or a sound, something present but not insistent, something you can observe without having to do anything about. You don't need to resist this blurring. You don't need to try to maintain clarity or hold on to the sharp edges of your thoughts. In fact, letting thoughts become vague and dreamlike is part of falling asleep. It's your mind's way of transitioning from the focused awareness of waking consciousness to the diffuse awareness of sleep. Let your thoughts become soft and indistinct. Let them blur together, losing their individual shapes. Let the boundaries dissolve between thinking and feeling, between questioning and simply being, between analysis and pure sensation. Your mind knows how to make this transition. You've done it thousands of times before. You can trust it to happen now. Your breath is so gentle, so quiet. Your body is so heavy, so relaxed. Your face is peaceful, your jaw loose, your shoulders completely dropped. Your arms feel like water, flowing down, soft and formless. Your chest and belly are barely moving, just the faintest rise and fall. Your back is sinking down, your hips heavy, your legs like stone, your feet completely released. And as your body sinks heavier into rest, your thoughts continue their natural blurring, their soft dissolving into something less distinct. The deep thinking that usually characterizes your mind is giving way to something more primitive, more instinctive, less structured. This isn't a loss. This is rest. This is what your mind needs. You don't need to hold on to clarity. You don't need to maintain the sharp focus that you usually bring to your thinking. You can let it all become soft and vague and dreamlike, the way thoughts naturally become as consciousness fades towards sleep. Let the edges blur. Let the distinctions dissolve. Let thinking become more like feeling, less like analysis. Your mind is safe in this blurring, in this softening, in this loss of structure. Nothing important is being lost. You're simply allowing yourself to transition from waking to sleeping, from thinking to dreaming, from active consciousness to rest. And that transition requires letting go of clarity, letting go of sharp edges, letting go of the need to think clearly. Just drift now, letting thoughts become more and more dreamlike, more and more vague, until they're barely thoughts at all, just soft presences in awareness, requiring nothing, demanding nothing, simply drifting by like clouds, like fog, like the softest whisper. You're sinking deeper, softer into sleep. And you're safe here. You're held. You can let go completely. Your deep thinking isn't something to fix or reduce. It isn't a problem that needs solving or a disorder that needs treatment. It's simply how you're wired, how your brain naturally engages with the world. The fact that your mind goes to places others don't reach isn't a flaw. It's a feature of who you are. It's part of your unique configuration as a human being. Some people's minds naturally move quickly, jumping from thing to thing with speed and agility. Some minds are more visual, thinking in images and spatial relationships. Some are more verbal, thinking in words and narratives. Your mind is oriented toward depth, toward going beneath the surface, toward finding connections and meaning that others might not see. That's not better or worse than other ways of thinking. It's just different. It's your particular way of engaging with reality, and it has given you certain gifts, insight, understanding, the ability to see nuance and complexity. It has also created certain challenges, the difficulty of turning off analysis, the exhaustion of processing everything so thoroughly, the loneliness of thinking differently than most people around you. But it's not something to be ashamed of or to try to eliminate. Your deep thinking mind is part of who you are, as fundamental as your eye color or your laugh or any other characteristic that makes you uniquely you. And it deserves respect. It deserves appreciation. It deserves care. And most importantly right now, it deserves rest. That beautiful, complex, endlessly curious mind deserves to stop working, to stop trying, to simply be held in this moment without needing to understand it, without needing to analyze it, without needing to connect it to anything else. Your mind deserves rest without guilt, without the nagging feeling that you should be doing something more productive with this time. Because rest is productive. Rest is how your brain consolidates learning, integrates experience, prepares for tomorrow. Rest is how your nervous system recovers from the constant work of being conscious and aware. Rest is how you maintain the capacity for deep thought that you'll need again tomorrow. Rest isn't a waste of time or a luxury. It's a necessity, as fundamental as food and water. Feel your whole body now, completely relaxed. Your breath is so soft, barely there. Your face is smooth and peaceful, every muscle released. Your neck is soft, your shoulders melted down, your arms heavy as stone. Your chest and belly are moving so gently, just breathing themselves without any effort from you. Your back is sinking, your hips heavy, your legs completely relaxed, your feet soft and loose, and your mind can be as relaxed as your body. It can be as soft, as heavy, as released. It can stop working the way your muscles have stopped working. It can simply rest, simply be, simply drift in the quiet darkness behind your closed eyes. You deserve this rest completely. Not because you've earned it through enough work, not because you've thought hard enough today to merit a break, but simply because you're a human being with a mind that needs rest. You deserve it unconditionally, without having to justify it or prove that you've done enough to warrant it. Rest is your birthright. Peace is your natural state. And you can return to that natural state now, letting go of all the work, all the thinking, all the deep analysis that has characterized your day. You can simply be here, breathing, resting, drifting deeper into sleep. Your mind is safe. You are safe. Everything can wait until tomorrow. Right now, there's only this: breath, body, peace, and the soft, welcome darkness of approaching sleep. Let yourself sink completely into that darkness now. Let yourself rest fully. You deserve this peace. All the thoughts you've thought today, all the observations you've made, all the connections you've drawn, all the patterns you've noticed, they're settling now, like sediment in water that's finally gone still. When water is constantly stirred, the sediment stays suspended, making the water cloudy and unclear. But when the water finally goes still, the sediment gradually settles to the bottom, and the water becomes clear and calm. Your thoughts are like that sediment. During the day, they're constantly stirred up, constantly in motion, making your consciousness feel full and busy and sometimes overwhelming. But now, as you rest, as you stop stirring the water, those thoughts can finally settle. They're sinking down, becoming part of the foundation, while the surface of your awareness becomes calm, clear, quiet. You don't need to stir them up again. You don't need to examine them one more time, to think about them just a little bit more, to make sure you've understood everything fully. They can simply settle, becoming part of your unconscious understanding, integrating into your larger sense of things without requiring your conscious attention. This settling happens naturally when you stop actively thinking. When you let your mind rest, your brain continues to work with the material of your thoughts even while you're sleeping, making connections and integrations at an unconscious level. But it can only do that work when you stop consciously directing it. The conscious work is done for today. Now it's time for the unconscious work, the deeper processing that happens in sleep. Let today's mental work be complete. Let it rest. Let yourself rest. You've thought enough, understood enough, made enough connections for one day. The work is done. The thinking can stop. Your mind can finally completely rest. Your breath is barely noticeable now, just the faintest whisper of air moving in and out. Your body is so heavy, so completely relaxed, sinking into the surface beneath you like you're being absorbed into softness. Your face is peaceful, smooth, released. Your jaw hangs loose, your tongue rests gently, your eyes are soft behind closed lids. Feel your shoulders, how completely they've dropped, how all the weight has melted away. Your arms are heavy, your hands open and loose, your chest and belly are moving so gently, just breathing themselves in their own rhythm. Your back is sinking down, supported and held. Your hips are heavy, your legs like stone, your feet completely soft. And as your body rests, as it settles into deeper and deeper relaxation, your thoughts are settling too. The sediment is sinking to the bottom. The water is becoming clear and still. Your mind is finding the peace that comes from not having to work, not having to think, not having to understand anything more tonight. Let the settling continue. Let everything that was stirred up during the day sink down into rest. Let the surface of your consciousness become as smooth as glass, as quiet as a lake on a windless day, as peaceful as the space between thoughts. You don't need to maintain any thoughts now. You don't need to hold on to anything. You can let it all settle, let it all rest, let it all be complete for today. Just breathing now, just resting, just allowing yourself to be here, in this moment, with nothing to do and nowhere to be and nothing to think about. Your mind is still. Your body is heavy. Everything is settling into peace, and you can drift even deeper now into the quiet darkness where thinking stops completely, where rest becomes total, where sleep finally arrives. There's something peaceful in admitting that you don't need to know everything right now. Some questions can remain open. Some patterns can stay unresolved. Some mysteries can simply exist without requiring your immediate attention. Your mind doesn't have to have all the answers tonight. It doesn't have to figure everything out before you can sleep. That question you've been holding, the one that's been turning over in your mind, trying to find its answer, it can remain a question. It doesn't need to be solved tonight. It will still be there tomorrow if it still matters then, and you'll be better equipped to think about it after rest. But right now, in this moment, it can simply be an open question. Something you don't know, something you don't need to know. Those patterns you've been noticing, trying to understand what they mean, trying to figure out their implications, they can stay partially understood. You don't need complete clarity on everything before you're allowed to rest. Partial understanding is okay. Uncertainty is okay. Not knowing is okay. Some mysteries can simply exist without demanding your analysis. The world is full of things that don't make sense, that can't be fully understood, that remain mysterious no matter how deeply you think about them. And that's okay. That's part of being human in a complex world. You don't have to solve every mystery or understand every pattern or answer every question. Your mind has permission to not understand, permission to not figure out, permission to not analyze, permission to simply let things be unresolved, unclear, uncertain. This not knowing isn't failure. It isn't your mind being inadequate or not working hard enough. It's rest. It's the space where your mind can finally stop working and simply be present but not active, aware but not engaged, here but drifting gently towards sleep. The safety of not knowing is in recognizing that you can be okay without having all the answers. You can be at peace without complete understanding. You can rest without having solved everything. Your worth isn't determined by how much you understand or how many answers you have. You're worthy of rest and peace regardless of how many questions remain open. Notice your breath now, how soft it has become. Your whole body is so relaxed, so heavy, so completely at ease. Your face is peaceful, your jaw loose, your neck soft. Your shoulders have dropped completely. Your arms are heavy, your hands open and still. Your chest and belly are barely moving, just the gentlest rise and fall. Your back is sinking down, your hips heavy, your legs like stone. your feet soft and released. And as your body rests in this deep relaxation, your mind can rest in not knowing. It can stop trying to figure things out. It can stop reaching for answers. It can simply be here, in this moment, without needing to understand anything, without needing to solve anything, without needing to know anything. Let the questions drift away. Let the patterns fade into the background. Let the mysteries remain mysterious without demanding your attention. Your mind is safe in this not knowing. You are safe in this uncertainty. You don't need to have everything figured out to be okay, to be at peace, to rest deeply. Just drift now, deeper into this peaceful not knowing, this comfortable uncertainty, this space where your mind can finally stop working and simply be. You don't need to know, you don't need to understand, you don't need to figure anything out. You can simply rest, simply breathe, simply drift into the soft darkness of sleep, where thinking stops completely and rest becomes total. Let yourself go now. Let yourself sink into sleep. You're safe here. You're held. You can completely let go. And now, as you sink even deeper, notice how naturally your thoughts are becoming quieter, slower, more distant. The need to think deeply, to understand fully, to connect everything, it's fading now, like sound from a room you've just left. You can barely hear it anymore. It's becoming background noise, distant and irrelevant, no longer capturing your attention. Your mind is learning what your body already knows, that rest is safe, that letting go is natural, that you don't need to hold on to anything right now. Your body has been resting for a while now, completely relaxed, completely released. And it's fine. Nothing bad has happened from letting your body stop working. And the same is true for your mind. Nothing bad will happen from letting it stop working, from letting it rest, from letting it be quiet. The need to think deeply has been such a constant companion throughout your life. It's been how you navigate the world, how you make sense of things, how you protect yourself by understanding what's happening. But tonight, you don't need that protection. You're safe here, in this space, in this moment. You don't need to understand anything to be safe. You can simply rest. Everything you are remains intact even as your thoughts dissolve into the soft darkness of approaching sleep. You don't lose yourself by stopping thinking. You don't disappear by letting your mind be quiet. You're still you, still here, still present, just in a different way, a way that's softer, quieter, more restful. The deep thinking that characterizes your waking mind is fading now, giving way to something more primitive, more instinctive. Your brain is shifting from the focused, analytical mode of waking consciousness to the diffuse, dreamlike mode of sleep. This is natural. This is necessary. This is how sleep happens. Your breath is so soft now, barely there at all. Your body is so heavy, so completely relaxed. Your face is peaceful, smooth, released. Your jaw is loose, your neck soft, your shoulders completely dropped. Your arms feel like water, formless and flowing. Your chest and belly are barely moving, just the faintest breath. Your back is sinking, your hips heavy, your legs like stone, your feet completely soft. And your thoughts are fading too, becoming quieter and more distant with each breath. The constant activity of your waking mind is slowing down, becoming less and less, fading into the background until there's almost nothing left. Just this gentle presence, this soft awareness, barely there at all. Let the thinking fade completely now. Let it dissolve into the darkness behind your closed eyes. Let it go the way sound goes when you walk away from its source, becoming quieter and quieter and quieter until you can't hear it anymore at all. Your deep thinking mind is walking away from you now, or you're walking away from it, moving into a space where thinking isn't needed, where understanding isn't required, where analysis doesn't exist. You're safe in this space. Safer than you've been all day, actually, because here there's nothing to figure out, nothing to solve, nothing to understand. Here there's only rest, only peace, only the soft darkness that holds you gently as you sink deeper and deeper into sleep. Let yourself go completely now. Let the last threads of thought dissolve. Let the need to think deeply fade away entirely. Your mind is quiet. Your body is still. Everything you are can rest now deeply and completely in this soft, warm, welcoming darkness. Just drift. Just sink. Just let go. Sleep is so close now. Let yourself fall into it. Let yourself rest. You're safe. You're held. You can sleep now. Your breath continues its gentle rhythm, requiring no thought, no analysis, no deep understanding. In and out, rising and falling, completely natural and completely automatic. You're not breathing. Breathing is simply happening, the way a river flows, the way wind moves, the way clouds drift across the sky. No effort, no intention, no conscious control. Just the natural movement of air through your body. This is what your mind can be like too, moving naturally without your conscious direction, flowing without effort, simply being without the need to examine or understand. During your waking hours, you direct your thoughts, you guide your analysis, you consciously engage with ideas and questions, but now your mind can be like your breath, automatic, natural, requiring nothing from you, in and out, rising and falling. Each breath comes on its own, each breath leaves on its own. You're not making it happen. It's happening by itself, the way everything in your body happens by itself when you stop trying to control it. Your heart beats, your blood flows, your cells regenerate. All of this happens without your conscious awareness or control. And your mind can rest in that same automatic functioning. It can stop being consciously directed and simply be, the way your breath simply is. It can move in its own natural patterns without you having to guide it, without you having to think about it, without you having to understand what it's doing. Let your breath carry you deeper now. Each exhale is releasing a little more tension, a little more holding, a little more of the conscious control you've been maintaining all day. Each exhale is letting go, softening, releasing. And each inhale is bringing a little more peace, a little more rest, a little more of the soft darkness that welcomes you into sleep. Breathing in, breathing out, so gentle now, so quiet. Your chest barely moves, your belly barely rises and falls. It's all becoming softer, quieter, less and less noticeable. Soon you won't notice your breath at all because you'll be sleeping, and in sleep there's no noticing, no awareness, no conscious observation of anything. Your whole body is so heavy now, so completely relaxed. Your face is smooth and peaceful, every muscle released. Your jaw hangs loose, your tongue rests gently, your eyes are soft behind closed lids, your neck is soft, your shoulders melted down, your arms heavy as stone. Your chest and belly are moving so gently, just breathing themselves. Your back is sinking, your hips heavy, your legs completely relaxed, your feet soft and loose. And as your body rests in this deep relaxation, as it breathes itself without any effort from you, your mind is learning to rest the same way. It's learning to simply be without direction, without effort, without the constant work of thinking and analysing and understanding. It's learning what your body already knows, that rest is natural, that letting go is safe, that you don't have to control everything. Let your breath carry you deeper still. Let each exhale release you further into sleep. Let each inhale bring you more peace. You don't have to think about your breath or manage it or control it. It's happening by itself, and you can simply drift along with it, sinking deeper and deeper as thinking gives way to pure sensation, as consciousness fades into the soft darkness of sleep. Just breathing, just resting, just drifting. Nothing to think about, nothing to understand, nothing to do. Just this natural rhythm, in and out, carrying you deeper into rest, deeper into peace, deeper into the sleep your mind and body both need so completely. Let yourself go now. Let the breath carry you. Let yourself sink into sleep. You're drifting now into a space where thoughts barely form, where the need to understand has dissolved completely. This is the quiet beneath the surface, the stillness below the constant movement of your usual consciousness. During your waking hours, consciousness is like the surface of the ocean, constantly moving, waves and currents and activity. But beneath that surface, deep down, there's a place of perfect stillness, where nothing moves, where everything is quiet and dark and peaceful. You're sinking into that deep place now. Down below the waves of thought, down below the currents of analysis, down into the stillness that's always been there waiting for you. Here, nothing needs to be analysed. Nothing needs to make sense. Nothing needs to be connected to anything else. Here, there's only rest, only peace, only the soft darkness that holds you. You can simply exist here, formless and free. You're not your thoughts anymore. You're not your deep thinking or your constant analysis. You're just awareness itself, soft and diffuse, barely there at all. Your deep thinking mind is finally at rest, finally released from the work of understanding, finally allowed to simply be without having to do anything. This space beneath the surface is where sleep lives. It's where consciousness goes when it stops being conscious, where thinking goes when it stops thinking, where your mind goes when it finally lets go of all the work it's been doing, and it's peaceful here. It's safe here. There's nothing to fear in this deep, quiet place. Let yourself sink deeper into this space. Let yourself become part of the stillness, part of the darkness, heart of the peace. You don't need to maintain your sense of self anymore. You don't need to hold on to who you are or what you're thinking or anything at all. You can simply dissolve into this quiet space, becoming part of it, resting in it, held by it. Your breath is barely there now, just the faintest whisper. Your body is so heavy, so still, so completely at rest. Your face is peaceful, your jaw loose, your neck soft. Your shoulders have melted away, your arms are formless. Your hands have disappeared. Your chest and belly are barely moving, just the softest rise and fall. Your back has sunk completely. Your hips are gone. Your legs have dissolved. Your feet no longer exist in any meaningful way. And your thoughts have dissolved too. There's almost nothing left of the thinking mind. Just this soft presence, this gentle awareness that's barely aware of anything at all. The deep thinking that characterizes your waking mind has completely faded, leaving only this quiet, this stillness, this peace. You're beneath the surface now, deep in the quiet place where sleep happens. There's nothing to think about here, nothing to understand, nothing to analyze or connect or make sense of. Just this formless, peaceful existence, this soft darkness, this complete rest. Let yourself be held here. Let yourself rest here. Let yourself dissolve completely into this space where thinking doesn't exist, where understanding isn't needed, where your deep thinking mind can finally, completely, totally rest. Just drift now. Just sink. Just be. Nothing to hold on to, nothing to figure out, nothing to do but rest in this deep, quiet, peaceful darkness. Sleep is here now. You're here now. Everything can rest. There's a particular softness that comes when you stop trying to think about sleep and simply allow it to approach. All night, in subtle ways, there's been a part of you trying to manage this process, trying to make yourself fall asleep, trying to think about how to stop thinking. But sleep doesn't come from trying. It comes from surrendering, from letting go, from stopping all the effort. Your mind, so used to being active and engaged, so accustomed to working and analysing and understanding, discovers now that it can rest. It can actually stop. It can let go of all the work it's been doing and simply allow itself to be held by this moment, by this darkness, by this peace. The world continues just fine without your constant observation. Things are happening out there. Time is passing. The earth is turning. Other people are living their lives. And all of it happens whether you're thinking about it or not. You don't need to maintain vigilance. You don't need to keep monitoring everything. You can let it all go on without you for a while. This surrender isn't defeat. It's not giving up or failing or losing anything important. It's wisdom. It's your mind finally trusting that rest is safe, that you don't need to maintain constant awareness, that the world will still be there when you wake up. You don't have to keep thinking to make sure everything is okay. Everything's okay without your thinking. Let yourself surrender now. Stop trying to fall asleep. Stop trying to quiet your mind. Stop trying to rest. Just let it happen. Let sleep approach on its own, in its own time, in its own way. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to stop preventing it from happening. And how do you stop preventing it? By letting go of effort, by releasing control, by surrendering to this moment exactly as it is, without trying to make it be any different. Your mind wants to be quiet. Your body wants to sleep. They know how to do this. You just have to get out of the way and let them. Your breath is so soft now, so quiet. barely noticeable. Your body is completely still, completely relaxed, completely surrendered to rest. Your face is smooth and peaceful, released. Your jaw hangs loose, your neck is soft, your shoulders have dropped completely. Your arms are heavy and still, your hands open and loose. Your chest and belly are barely moving, just breathing themselves in the softest rhythm. Your back is sinking, your hips heavy, your legs like stone, your feet completely released. And your mind can surrender too. It can stop trying to control anything. It can stop trying to think or not think, to sleep or not sleep, to be any particular way at all. It can simply surrender to what is, to this moment, to this quiet darkness, to the natural process of consciousness fading into sleep. This surrender is what your mind has been waiting for all along. All day, all week, maybe all your life, it's been working and trying and striving and managing. And now, finally it can stop. It can let go. It can surrender to something bigger than itself, to the natural rhythms of rest and waking, to the ancient patterns that govern all living things, to the simple truth that you need rest and sleep knows how to give it to you. Let yourself soften completely now. Let the surrender be total. Let every last bit of trying and effort and control dissolve into this soft darkness. Your mind is quiet. Your body is still. Everything is softening, surrendering, letting go into sleep. You don't have to do anything more. Sleep is here. Sleep is holding you. Sleep is welcoming you home. Just let go. Just surrender. Just rest. You're in that beautiful space now between waking and sleeping, where consciousness becomes fluid and dreamlike. This is the liminal space, the threshold, the in-between place where you're not quite awake anymore but not yet fully asleep. It's a strange and peaceful space where the rules of waking consciousness don't quite apply, where thoughts become loose and images appear without logic, where time itself becomes fluid and uncertain. Your deep-thinking mind has quieted almost completely, leaving only the gentlest awareness of your body resting, your breath flowing, your thoughts dissolving like mist in morning sun. You're not thinking in any organized way anymore. There might be fragments of thoughts, images, sensations, but they don't connect into anything coherent. They just drift by, soft and vague, barely there. This is where sleep begins, in this drifting space where you're no longer quite yourself, where your identity becomes loose, where the boundaries that normally define you start to dissolve. You're floating here, suspended between worlds, held gently in this soft transition from waking to sleeping. There's nothing left to figure out. There's nothing left to understand. There's nothing left to do but drift deeper into this peaceful darkness, this welcome rest, this necessary sleep. Your mind has done all the work it needs to do. Your body has released all the tension it was holding. Everything has softened. Everything has surrendered. Everything is ready for sleep. Let yourself drift deeper still. Let the last threads of awareness grow thinner and thinner until they barely exist at all. You're hovering now on the edge of sleep, about to tip over into complete unconsciousness, complete rest, complete letting go of everything that makes you conscious and aware and thinking. Your breath is barely perceptible, just the faintest movement. Your body has disappeared in a way. no longer sending signals of sensation or position. You're just awareness now, soft and diffuse, floating in darkness, with nothing to hold on to and nowhere to go except deeper into sleep. And deeper you go, sinking, floating, drifting in this beautiful space between waking and sleeping. Your deep thinking mind has dissolved completely. There's no analyzing anymore, no connecting, no seeking meaning. There's only this soft drift, this gentle descent, this peaceful letting go. You're safe here in this in-between space. You're held here by something larger than yourself, by the ancient rhythms of sleep that have existed since consciousness first evolved, by the natural cycles that govern all living things, by the simple necessity of rest that every being experiences. You're part of that now, surrendering to it, letting it carry you. Just drift now, just float. Just let yourself be carried deeper and deeper into sleep. There's nothing to think about, nothing to figure out, nothing to do but surrender to this gentle descent, this soft sinking, this peaceful drifting into the darkness where sleep lives, where rest is complete, where your deep thinking mind can finally, truly, completely let go. Sleep is so close now, so close. Just let yourself drift into it. Let yourself fall. Let yourself rest. You're safe. You're held. You can completely let go, drift deeper, sink softer, rest fully, sleep. Sleep is so close now, wrapping around you like a soft blanket, gentle and welcoming. You can feel it approaching, feel it surrounding you, feel it inviting you to let go completely. It's not forcing itself on you. It's simply there, waiting, ready, offering you the rest you need so deeply. Your mind, your beautiful, complex, endlessly curious mind, has finally found permission to stop. Not because it's been defeated or because it's failed in some way, but because it's done enough for today. It's thought enough, analysed enough, understood enough. Now it can rest. Now it can stop. To rest doesn't mean to disappear. To rest doesn't mean to lose who you are. To rest just means to simply be held by this moment without needing to understand it, without needing to analyze it, without needing to connect it to anything else. Your mind can be held the way your body is being held, softly, gently, without any demands, without any expectations. Just rest, just peace, just the natural unwinding of a mind that has worked enough, thought enough, done enough for today. You've been thinking deeply since you woke up this morning, maybe even before that, in your dreams. Your mind has been working constantly, processing, analysing, making connections. It deserves this rest. It needs this rest. And you deserve this rest too. Not just your mind, but all of you. The whole complex being that you are, with your deep thoughts and your endless questions and your constant search for meaning. All of that can rest now. All of that can soften. All of that can let go. Your breath is barely there anymore, just the faintest whisper of air. Your body has become formless, no longer distinct or defined, just part of the darkness and softness that surrounds you. Your face is completely peaceful, smooth, released. Every muscle has let go. Every bit of tension has dissolved. There's only this, soft, warm, peaceful rest, and your mind is the same. No longer thinking, no longer analysing, no longer trying to understand anything. just resting, just being, just held by this moment, by this darkness, by this complete and total peace. Your deep thinking mind has finally stopped, and in its stopping, it has found what it's been looking for all along. Rest, peace, the quiet that comes from not having to work anymore. Let yourself be held now. Let yourself rest completely. Let yourself sink into this soft, welcoming darkness where sleep lives, where peace exists, where your mind and body can both find the deep rest they need. You're safe here. You're held here. You're welcomed here. There's nothing you need to do, nothing you need to be, nothing you need to think about. Just rest, just peace, just the gentle embrace of sleep wrapping around you, holding you, welcoming you home. Your mind is quiet, your body is still. Everything can rest now. Everything can let go. Everything can simply be held in this soft, dark, peaceful place where sleep happens, where consciousness fades, where rest becomes complete. Sleep is here now. You're here now. Let yourself fall into it completely. Let yourself rest fully. You've done enough. You can stop now. Just sleep. Just peace. Just rest. The darkness behind your closed eyes is soft and safe. A space where thoughts no longer form, where understanding is no longer needed, where your deep thinking nature can finally rest in the simple experience of being. This darkness isn't empty or frightening. It's full of peace, full of rest, full of the quiet comfort that comes from finally letting go. You're floating now, weightless and free. The heaviness of your body is somehow transformed into lightness, like you're suspended in warm water, held by something soft and gentle that requires no effort from you. Your mind is quiet, no longer generating thoughts, no longer reaching for understanding. Your body is heavy and light at the same time, both grounded and floating. Everything is softening into the approach of sleep. This is the space right before sleep takes you completely, where you're barely conscious anymore, where awareness has become so diffuse and quiet that it's almost not there at all. You're hovering at the very edge of consciousness, about to slip over into complete rest, complete sleep, complete letting go of everything, and it's safe here, so safe. There's nothing to fear in this darkness, nothing to worry about, nothing that requires your attention or understanding or deep thought. Just this soft, quiet, peaceful space where your mind can finally rest completely, where your deep thinking nature can dissolve into simple being, where thinking gives way to pure unconscious rest. Let yourself float deeper into this darkness. Let yourself become part of it. Let it become part of you. There's no boundary anymore between you and the darkness, between awareness and unawareness, between waking and sleeping. Everything is blending together, becoming one soft, peaceful existence. Your breath is so faint now you can barely feel it. Your body has dissolved into the darkness, no longer sending any signals, no longer existing in any way that registers in your fading awareness. Your face, your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your legs, all of it has faded away, becoming part of the soft darkness that holds you. And your thoughts have faded too. There's nothing left of the thinking mind, nothing left of the deep analysis, nothing left of the constant searching for meaning. Just this soft presence, This gentle awareness that's barely aware at all. This last little bit of consciousness that's about to dissolve completely into sleep. You're so close now, so close to complete rest, complete letting go, complete sleep. Just a little bit further, a little bit deeper, a little bit softer into this peaceful darkness. Nothing to hold on to anymore, nothing to figure out, nothing to do but let yourself drift, let yourself float, let yourself fall into the soft arms of sleep. Let go completely now. Let the last thread of awareness dissolve. Let consciousness fade into unconsciousness. Let thinking stop completely. You're safe. You're held. You're welcomed into this deep, peaceful, restful sleep. Just float. Just drift. Just let go. Sleep is here. You're here. Everything can rest now. Everything can be still. Everything can simply be held in this soft, dark, peaceful sleep. Rest now. Sleep now. Let go. And as you sink deeper still, even awareness begins to fade. The last threads of consciousness are loosening, releasing you into complete rest. You're barely here anymore, barely aware of anything at all. Just this faint sense of existence, this gentle presence that's about to disappear completely into sleep. Your mind, so active and engaged during waking hours, so constantly working and thinking and analysing, discovers now the profound peace of letting everything go. It's not holding on to anything anymore. It's not trying to understand anything. It's not seeking meaning or making connections or analysing patterns. It's simply resting, simply being, simply dissolving into the quiet darkness of sleep. Thoughts dissolve before they fully form. You might have a fragment of a thought start to appear, but it fades before it becomes anything coherent, like smoke dissipating in air. Understanding becomes irrelevant. There's nothing to understand anymore, nothing that needs your comprehension, nothing that requires your deep thinking. All that remains is this: breath, body, darkness, peace, and the gentle pull of sleep drawing you down, down, down into its welcoming embrace. Down into the deep place where consciousness doesn't exist, where thinking stops completely, where rest is total and complete. Your breath is barely happening now, just the faintest automatic function continuing on its own. Your body has ceased to exist in any meaningful way. You're just awareness now, and even that is fading, dissolving, disappearing into the darkness. Let yourself go completely. Let the final release happen. Let consciousness fade into unconsciousness. Let the last bit of awareness dissolve into the soft darkness where sleep lives. You're sinking down, down, down into complete rest, complete peace, complete letting go of everything. The deep thinking is gone. The analysis is gone. The need to understand is gone. Everything that makes you conscious and aware and thinking is fading away, leaving only this soft descent into sleep, this gentle falling into rest, this complete surrender to the darkness that holds you. Down you go, deeper and deeper, softer and softer, quieter and quieter, into the place where sleep is complete, where rest is total, where consciousness dissolves entirely into the peaceful darkness of deep, restful, healing sleep. Let go now. Let yourself fall. Let yourself sink completely into sleep. There's nothing left to hold on to, nothing left to think about, nothing left to understand. Just this, the soft pull of sleep, the gentle darkness, the complete rest that your mind and body both need so desperately. Down, deeper, softer, into sleep, into rest, into peace. Let go, fall, sink, sleep. Just sleep now. Deep, peaceful, complete sleep. Rest, peace, darkness, sleep. Sleep is here now. Your mind is quiet. Your body is still. Everything you are can rest completely, deeply, peacefully. The deep thinking has stopped. The constant analysis has ceased. The need to understand has dissolved completely. There's nothing left to think about, nothing left to understand, nothing left to do. Just sleep, just peace, just rest. Complete and total and absolute. Your mind is finally, truly, completely at rest. No thoughts, no analysis, no seeking meaning. Just the soft, dark, peaceful void of deep sleep where consciousness doesn't exist and rest is complete. Let go of everything now. Let go of awareness itself. Let go of the sense that you're even here anymore. Just dissolve into the darkness, into the peace, into the complete rest of deep, healing, restorative sleep. You're safe. You're held. You can completely, finally, deeply rest. There's nothing left to do but sleep. Nothing left to be but asleep. Nothing left to hold on to. Just let go. Just drift. Just sleep. Deep sleep. Peaceful sleep. Complete rest. Your deep-thinking mind has found the peace it needed. Your body has found the rest it craved. Everything is quiet now. Everything is still. Everything is at peace. Sleep. Rest. Peace. Let go. Drift. Sleep. You're safe. You're held. You can completely rest. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully. Sleep well. Just sleep now. Only sleep. Complete, total, deep sleep. Rest. Peace. Sleep. And so you've travelled through this landscape tonight, through the quiet territory of your own patterns, your own complexity, your own beautiful, deep-thinking mind. You've looked at the ways your mind works, the way it reaches for depth, the way it searches for meaning, the way it never quite settles for simple answers. And maybe you've begun to see that you're not broken. You're not thinking too much or processing too deeply or being too intense. You're human, beautifully and complicatedly human. Your mind is simply doing what it was designed to do, and even though that brings challenges, even though it feels overwhelming sometimes, it's also given you gifts that others don't have. You see things others miss. You understand things others overlook. You think in ways that bring depth and meaning to your life. You don't have to figure anything out before you sleep. You don't have to resolve anything or understand anything more fully or fix any part of how your mind works. You can let yourself be uncertain, be in process, be exactly where you are in this moment. Tomorrow is another day for thinking and understanding. Tonight is for rest. Let yourself soften now one final time. Let the muscles in your face completely relax. Let your jaw unclench if it's found any tension again. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your whole body settle deeper into the surface beneath you, heavy and soft and completely at rest. You are worthy of rest, not because you've earned it or done enough today, but simply because you're a living being who needs rest to survive and thrive. You're deserving of peace, of quiet, of the gentle darkness that holds you now. You're allowed to let go completely to stop thinking, to simply drift into deep, restorative sleep. You're safe here. You're held by this moment, by this darkness, by the natural rhythms that govern all living things. You can rest now without guilt, without feeling like you should be doing something more productive. Rest is productive. Rest is necessary. Rest is what allows you to think deeply again tomorrow. Let yourself drift deeper and softer into sleep now. Let your breath carry you. Let your body hold you. Let the darkness welcome you. Just breathing, just resting, just sleeping. Your deep thinking mind has found its peace. Your body has found its rest. Everything can let go now. You can let go completely. You can rest fully. You can sleep deeply now, peacefully and safely in the soft darkness. Sleep deeply, sleep peacefully, sleep well. You're safe. You're held. You're allowed to completely rest. Just sleep now. Just peace. Just rest. Let go. Sleep.